Desert Island Discs on 91.3 Capital FM.
All right, that's yet another edition of Desert Island Discs on 91.3 Capital FM. Bigger and better on YouTube at the closest click of a finger to you. As always, sharing life's incredible stories by folks that have distinguished themselves in what they do, whose life story will serve to inspire many of us watching and listening. On this wonderful Sunday evening, we have an interesting guest. Now, many a times we get to sit with incredible folks that have traveled the world, worked in different places, done earth-shaking things, and we forget that ordinary lives can actually be extraordinary in their own way. On the program, we have the postcard image of an ordinary life, very extraordinary. I'm a lady that works in a market, the typical lady that you meet when you visit a market to buy vegetables, to buy foodstuffs, the lady that will look out for you and show you her wear and sell to you whatever it is that you want. Perhaps even you engage them in a huge bargaining feat. But guess what? At the end of the day, that lady takes home an earning, grows her life and her family, and has a life story to share. Perhaps they have qualifications that would merit to be in an office bigger than yours, but they are seated in the market, selling to you where? The stereotype about market ladies or market gentlemen, for that matter, is that possibly life hit them so hard and that's the only place they could find solace. Far from the truth, as we'll find out from Jennipher Tumunkunde's story on Desert Island Discs right about now. Good evening. Welcome to the program, Jennipher.
Thank you. Nice to meet you finally, Simon.
I'm sure many people that have visited Naria Market will find your face familiar, your voice almost as natural as they just saw earlier in the day selling the vegetables.
Yes, I'm always there.
Always there.
Yes.
With an and moniker of Mama Utunda, because that's how you started your business.
True, that is how I started my business.
Just tell us about you and the market.
Wow, where do I start from? Well, I have been in Nalia Central Market for 3 years now, and I got into the market as a way of getting a station for my passion fruits, because originally I was vending them and working from home. But as it is in a good business, there is growth. So that was the time I had to move from home. Yes, and I thought the market would be the best place as a pickup point or a store for my passion fruits. But I think God had a bigger plan for me.
You had a bigger plan. God just facilitated you with wisdom, courage,
yeah.
and resilience.
Perhaps. So I ended up selling everything else that you could find in the market.
So what are you selling in that market? Matoke, vegetables, everything?
Everything. Food like matoke, potatoes, cassava, yams, gonja, and then vegetables, all sorts of vegetables. Wow. The likes of nakati, buga, cucumber, celery, even the ones that seem exotic. There are those that seem exotic.
Like celery, now what's that?
Like celery, I know. Yet we grow it here. And then we have fruits, melons, oranges, apples, lemon. Then we have spices.
And you own the whole market. How big is that space where you're selling everything from? Or how many stores
when
do you
you
have?
start working in a market, you learn how to fix stuff in even a very small space.
So you
It took
find
me
the
time to learn how to pile them. Yes, but also, organize them in a way that is attractive for clients to look at them from a distance and come.
I'm told it's not easy. Certain fruits have to be fast.
Exactly.
Others second.
Sometimes it's according to color, sometimes it's according to perishability. There are those that you can't place others on top of them. Wow. Then there are those that are attractive, like the grapes, the apples, the yellow oranges. You have to put them closer so that they can attract clients.
And then the yams and potatoes, which look brown and ugly. An ordinary market woman that we know.
Yes.
Or is it because you dressed your son the best for the program?
Not exactly. I think you'll find me like this even when you come to the market. Working in the market doesn't make you look like the ordinary market people, or maybe it's my way of attracting clients, looking different and appealing to clients. But no, I have another part of my life that makes me look this way. It's not about working in the market.
Well, in your life story that you're going to share with us, we'll possibly know how all this began. But tell me something about, there's these guys that bring their wares from the farm. on
Yes,
tracks and
yes.
arrive at the market.
Yes.
Sometimes you have to be there in the wee hours of the morning just
Sure.
to pick the best wear. Do they sell to you more expensively than others because they think you have quite a bit of money on you?
Do you know what I do? Sometimes I send there my assistants.
Wow.
Sometimes I send there, there's a guy we call Golola. He's the one who carries these heavy stuff.
Sacks of
Yes, so
Irish
I
potatoes.
send him there and I tell him, go find me watermelons of 4,000. And they will sell to him. But when I go, it is true. Sometimes when they look at me, they say, madam, iyo ya kakaga. And then you find other people in the market got it at 4,000.
Oh,
So
because they think you're
I
not a
pull
market
back.
person.
Yes.
They actually think you are
I'm
a
a client.
housewife who just showed up to get the cheapest wear.
Exactly.
And you go.
Yes. So most of the time, actually, when I spot a truck has come, I send my guys, I tell them, go see what has come. Maybe pumpkins, maybe matoke, maybe potatoes, and I tell them, go and bargain and come. So he will come with maybe 3 melons and tell me, this is for 3, this is for 4, this is for 5.
Which one do you want?
Which one should we buy? Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, so yeah, that's one of my challenges.
Jennipher, you have also written a book. I see here a copy of which you launched 2 days ago. And it's
Yes.
titled Just Start. And in the kicker, it reads The Small Business Handbook.
Sure.
You're a parent, you're a hardworking woman, and now you take time off to write a book, which, according to what you wrote in a few of the pages, is to say many times we are afraid to start businesses because we are afraid of the capital.
Sure.
Tell us about this book.
Wow.
Did you start with nothing, like they say of chicken farmers who say, I started with a
with
feather.
a feather. Maybe let me tell you the story, then you will gauge whether I started with nothing or it's something. But
Yes.
I think I started with nothing.
Oh.
Yes, so I wrote this book last year because we had some time off, the pandemic. Is that
So
time
COVID brought out
COVID.
the author in you.
Yes.
Wow.
Not that I am so passionate about writing, but at least I knew that I had to document what I do, what I have done, how far I have come, and also to answer so many people's questions, because many a times I find people who ask me, so when did you start? How did you start? How much capital did you start with?
And these are not just ladies like you. Some are in fact men asking
Most
how
of
they can
them
get businesses
actually
for their
in
wives.
the market, yes. So when I had this time, I said, this is now the time to write about all these things, so that when people ask me so much, I tell them, you know what, it's all in here. So that's how I ended up writing that book. Remember the time when the president said that we should work up to, bodabodas should ride up to 2 p.m. And so my delivery guys couldn't work after 2. So after 2 o'clock, we would close and we would walk back home. So I had the whole afternoon to myself, and that's when I would sit down and write. Of course, there are times when I would wake up in the wee hours of the morning to...
With an idea that just came through as you slept.
Yeah, but also to focus and concentrate without the disturbance of the children.
Of the children.
Yes.
On this program, Jennipher, we play our music. So we have the pleasure to invite you to play your first song.
Wow. My first song will be Promises. It's a recent song. It's not very old, but it has really pushed me. The COVID times haven't been so easy, but it has pushed me. It talks about how the promises of God and how God has been so faithful, and how we can run to Him, like when we're in the middle of the road, like God will be there for you.
So it is that they look to divine intervention and the providence of the Almighty that inspired you to look into the direction of loving this song.
Yes.
What a nice way to start a Sunday evening with a song such as Promises. If it doesn't inspire you, then possibly there is something about you that doesn't speak to the direction of faith. It's Jennipher Tumukunde's story. She is an ordinary market woman, but with an incredibly extraordinary life story. We'll be right back.
Desert Island Discs on 91.3 Capital FM.
Rising sun to the setting, same I will praise your name. Great is your faithfulness.
It's Desert Island Discs. The story of Jennipher Tumukunde remains an intriguing one. She's an author, just newly discovered author. She's hot off the press with a book titled Just Start. It tells you all you need is an idea. And guess what? That idea doesn't have to be a novel idea, like a fourth law of motion to those of Newton that are 3. No, it could actually just be another of Newton's first laws. But start. Do something about it, and believe you me, you will grow. Or at least she has grown. So Jennipher, we've now known what you do and where your station is.
Yes.
Now we need to know a little bit about your life story. Okay. So as always, let's now go back and start from where it all began.
Yeah.
Where were you born? When were you born? To whom were you born?
Okay. Okay, like you said, my name is Jennipher Tumukunde, and my story starts from Chisoro.
Wow.
Yes, I'm a Mufumbira girl. My husband usually says, Mufumbira wange.
He isn't from Kisoro, is he?
No, he's not from Kisoro.
Wow, so he met you in the streets of Kampala here?
In Ginger, where I was raised, yes.
Wow, interesting.
Yes, I was raised in Ginger. I'm born to a wonderful, beautiful woman called Faith. And a very loving father called Yamule Mejelvas. He passed on 27th Feb 2011. And they raised us up in Ginger. My father was a lawyer.
Oh.
Yes. It is said he was the best lawyer in Ginger at the time.
You know what they say about the best lawyers?
No.
You don't know.
Maybe don't tell me. I don't want it to change what I...
No, maybe it's also not true. People say lawyers are liars. Do you think your father was a liar?
No.
See?
No, not at all.
So the people
because
call
when
him
my
liars.
father said something, he would definitely do it.
At home?
Yes.
But maybe in court he normally did that.
I went to court a few times, but I don't know whether he was lying or not.
Since he was the best lawyer,
yes,
we keep that good memory.
Yes.
So you say he raised us.
Yes.
Means you are not just an only child.
No, I'm not.
Take us into your childhood,
I think I have the best siblings. I'm a middle child, so I have 2 elder brothers and 2 younger siblings. So I have Moses, Alan, those are my elder brothers, very wonderful men right now. And then I have Geoffrey and Margaret, who come after me. And they are also doing well, and we grew up in a very loving family, of course, with other cousins and, you know, extended family like
it always used to be, as opposed to nowadays.
Yeah. And we had a nice family, generally speaking.
But there's something about middle children. People tell me that a middle child is not normally recognized. Eh? The parents have just had the firstborns and secondborns. There is the kajanjo. Eh? Then the middle child comes, but for you, since you are the first girl.
Exactly. That's what I was coming to, because since I was the first girl, it was like I'm the firstborn.
Wow.
It brought another, I think, form of excitement. So your father must
have spoiled you. You know how girls are with your daughters.
You don't
with
even
fathers.
Say. Yes. Times my mother would go and remind him that, come on, you have other children, don't concentrate on just this
Jennipher.
Yes, everyone knew it. You'd come to our home, in 2 minutes, you know that I'm my dad's favorite child.
Wow.
Yes.
So it meant that your father never spanked you a little bit, because...
He did once, just once.
That's why you remember it?
Yes.
What did you do?
He forgot his torch at the shop. Then he came back home and we looked for the torch, we couldn't find it. But I think he didn't spank me alone at that time. He spanked all of us, but that was the only time I was spanked.
He couldn't have given you a special spanking.
And then the following day,
it had to be in
general, yes.
And then the following day?
And then the following day, the shopkeeper brings it home. And then we were like, how can we undo all this beating we got last night?
You have no idea. Tell us what he must have done. He must have bribed all of you.
He even did. He said he didn't remember that he beat us. Can you imagine?
What had he been doing at the
shop?
Had he been drinking?
You know those shops of long ago. It would be a shop during the day and a bar in the evening.
Interesting.
Yes, yeah.
So Ginger.
Yeah, so Ginger is...
far away from your cradle of Kisoro.
Yeah.
Different language spoken in there. Maybe a cosmopolitan place. It's a city now, as we know.
It's now a city.
Different tribes in there. Take us through your childhood, your friends, the neighborhood you lived in. What do you remember?
The memories I have are mostly of trekking back and forth from school. I went to Victoria Nile Primary School.
Oh, the best that there was.
The best there was at that moment, and we would walk. I was, first we were staying in town, but later we moved to a place called Masese. But we would walk, and it was fun. It was so fun. We would walk as a group. Of course, there were those children who were picked up from
from school,
but
yes.
they were really the few ones. In fact, some of them said they were bored. They didn't want to be
preferred
picked.
to be
Yes,
with the
they
gangs
preferred to-
walking.
Yes. So there are those moments, and it was fun. Then school was also fun at the time. We used to play a lot. But that there was also a lot of housework at home. So I really have a mixture of, at home it was like a different world. At school, another different world. But there was also my life in Jinja Central Market, where my mother used to work.
Oh, so this
Yes.
market thing is not very alien to you. Now I see where it's coming from.
And yet, I kept saying I cannot
Work in a market.
work in a market because of this history. I kept thinking, I did not even want to talk about it. I just thought, well, this is where we got our living, part of our living, but that's it. I never in my dreams thought I would ever work in a market. But I don't know whether it's now becoming hereditary or...
So start preparing your daughter, if you have any, for
I
the
have.
biggest market there is.
I have. But it was, I think, now looking back, I think it was a good thing.
Take us back to Jinja Central Market where your mother worked.
Yes, my mother worked
What
in
you
Jinja
remember
Central
about
Market.
it, the setting there, and perhaps how different it is from today's markets.
Well, it's very different, but my mother was dealing in clothes, gents wear, so it's a bit different from the fruits and food section. Yes, but at least I learned how to associate with people. As soon as you'd enter the market, you'd start now kneeling to greet everyone along
All
up
those
to
are
where
aunties.
you get, all those are aunties, up to where you get, up to where mom sits. And so there are times she would go to buy stock and she would leave me there, sometimes my siblings, whoever would be available. And so I learned how to relate with people, like talk to
Customers.
people, customer care, to understand that people are really different, and also that informal sector. Yes,
The market is always a very chaotic place, let's be honest.
that's true.
Noise,
Yes.
shouts. There are people hawking their way and shouting, "Rukumi, Rukumi, Rukumi." That's a lot of noise.
Exactly, yeah.
Then there are people spelting out all sorts of vulgar words. Then there is the guys that are cleaning and say, "Go vayo," you know, and it's always not very kind. And yet you have customers that you need to show proper face.
Yes, that's true.
Did this all play out for you in a market in Jinja?
A little bit different. Jinja Central Market is actually organized. It has very big, wide corridors, and also most especially the section of clothes, very, very organized. So they would sweep early in the morning. The chaotic moments were Thursdays and Mondays, when they would be cutting bells for new clothing. Then these guys would come from Kampala, come and start scrambling for the nice clothes. Those were the chaotic moments, but the rest of the moments weren't so bad.
So as a student, of course, as a pupil, then into a student life, did you go to secondary school in Jinja?
No, I went to St. Kalemba. It's located in Kayunga, Nazigo. Yes, I studied there 6 years.
Which was very close to Jinja anyway.
Yes, it was close. It was my second choice. I had wanted to go to Nabingo, but I got 9 aggregates, and the pass mark for Nabingo was
8.
8.
Oh dear.
Yes.
All the while, what was your dream in terms of profession? What did you want to be?
I think I was almost a lawyer even when I was right in primary. My father, I think, started putting it in me from right when I was young, and he used to say that the way I talk, the way I argue, he used to say that I would make a good lawyer. So I grew up saying, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a lawyer, I want to. So I just saw myself as a lawyer.
Anyway, we know you work in the market, but you
Yes.
possibly have a law degree. Are you a lawyer?
No, I am a teacher by profession.
You're a teacher by profession.
Yes.
Not any difference. You still speak before people and raise them.
I'm a geography teacher, geography CRE, yes.
Wow. At what level?
Secondary
school.
Yes.
Oh, that's very interesting. So in Nalia Market, it's easier for you to cross the road to St. Peter's
Yes.
and possibly teach and then come back to the market.
I have thought about it. I said that one. I think there are those moments when the market is really lousy, no clients. So I said, but why don't I get a
between 2
job?
p.m. and
Exactly,
4 p.m.
like 4 p.m. Why don't I go and ask for like 2-3 lessons? Yeah, and teach, so that I don't also throw that part of my life away.
Well, they have had, I'm sure people say they don't have the geography teacher that they need to
That
give
they
them
need.
A grades.
And I think I'm a good one. The little time I taught my class was the best that
Wow.
year. I taught in Bongo High School.
Wow.
And a little bit in Kawempe Muslim. Yes.
Those are the schools that used to, I don't know how they perform now, but
I also don't know right now, but then at least my students did best.
Let's play your next song, Jennipher.
Okay, my next song is by Jose Chameleon. People who know me well will be surprised. But there is this song that that he sang that says Nekolera Mali. Avogere.
That's a very good all-time classic from Jose Chameleon.
I love Jose Chameleon.
But this particular song speaks to you. What does it say to you?
Say,
we know the lyrics.
Yes. There are those moments when I had just finished my postgraduate at UMI and I didn't have a job. So when some of my friends that I studied with at UMI heard that I was vending passion fruits, actually one of them called me and says, Jen, you are embarrassing us. Oh. Did we go to UMI to learn how to vend fruits? We just finished project planning. You're supposed to be somewhere heading a project. No. And within a short time, actually, you know, they cut me off as if, and I was like, ah. So usually when I would be vending my passion fruits, I would play my music. And so this song played and I was like, okay, it speaks to me. Nekolera Mali, Avogere. I would play it and rewind it and yeah.
Little do they know that what you're doing is actually a good project.
Yes, and because at the end of the day, I said, but at the end of the day, because most of our programs were, this Sunday we are meeting, please contribute so and so, and I didn't have the money. But after starting to vend my passion fruits, now suddenly I could contribute, I could attend those functions, I could dress well, and at the end of the day I told myself, I said, you know what they actually want is the money. Not how I am getting the money.
Wow.
Yeah, but as it is always now, they look up to me, they call me, I want to start something small, how can I? Yes, so I thank God it's
You're giving them true lectures out of experience, not from lecture books.
Yes.
Nekolera Mali by Jose Chameleon, an interestingly very inspiring song, especially for Jennipher, and I'm sure it would inspire you out there if you are doing a job that many don't find glorious, but at the end of the day, you know what you get from that song and what it means to your life. We'll be right back. It's Desert Island Discs.
Desert Island Discs on 91.3 Capital FM.
Well, it's Jennipher Tumukunde's life story. A girl from Kisoro, born and raised in Jinja, now in Kampala, plying her trade and doing exceptionally well because she just started and she just authored a book launched 2 days ago titled Just Start. It's a self-help book for you if you intend to get into a small business enterprise and you have no idea the ropes to pull. Yeah. All she says is just start.
Sure.
So Jennipher, here you are, you complete your high school in St. Kalemba as a young girl with a dream of being a lawyer.
Yeah.
Again, you don't hit the mark for law.
No, I don't.
Dad is disappointed?
No, I was actually surprised. I was worried about disappointing my dad, like letting him down, because he had assured everyone how this is the child that is going to become a lawyer. My elder brothers, one is an engineer and the other is a nutritionist. Wow. So the hope was now in
with
me.
You. Never mind, you have two other siblings that are younger than you.
So I don't qualify, and I did not even qualify for private sponsorship because he said, I will do anything to pay for you. So I applied for private sponsorship. I think I got 11 points. And I was surprised at my dad's reaction. When my results came, they called him. At the time, he was downloading the phone. So they called him, told him the results are out, and he asked the head teacher to read to him my results. And when he added, I had 11. And I think private sponsorship the cutoff was about 15. So I still didn't qualify, but my second choice was education, yes. And I decided to go for it. Yes.
Where?
Makerere.
Wow.
Yes, Makerere. And I really thank God for my parents. They tried to make me, console me. It's okay, you can even do your law after But my mother made sure that I have the best. I slept in a hall. Like,
Or they didn't put you in a hostel out there?
No.
They got you a hall?
Yes, as soon as the results came, my mother started moving with me to Makere. I want my child to sleep in a hall. Like, I think to make me feel like I'm at campus, and well, you missed law, but it's not the only nice course, and also, yeah, so I was sleeping in box.
Wow.
We were calling it. Yes, and I did 3 years of education. So I'm a good teacher of geography and CRA.
And CRA.
Yes.
But let's get into your campus life. Of course, we know that by the time you got to campus,
yes,
that was perhaps the only first time you were away from home and the prying eye of your parents.
That is true.
With a lot of freedom on your hands.
Yes, I had a lot of freedom, but as soon as my results came, my mother started preaching to me about campus. Yes, so I came with a little bit of fear of campus. That was the time of sugar daddies. And I grew up in a very Christian family, and it would be like unheard of. You know, so Christian that even having a boyfriend was as if a sin.
Yes.
Yes, so when I came to campus...
So at that time you hadn't seen that all, you hadn't had a boyfriend?
I had met David, just met.
Because I was going to say, you told us about a guy that you met in Ginger.
I had just met him I met David in 2003, November, and I went to campus 2004. No, 2000. Yeah, 2004.
It's interesting how you ladies are very good at the dates you actually meet your mates.
At that time, he was only a friend. I didn't regard him as a boyfriend, but when I went to campus... We don't want to be very intrusive to ask whether you were just on your way to church and you met this guy who possibly... You'll have to invite me for another interview to tell that story. But I met David in Ginger. When I was on my vacation, I was helping at my father's office. Oh. Yes, so I was out for lunch with my dad. So he says he spotted me, and he was also having lunch. At the time, he was working in Busia. So he was en route to Kampala. So he stopped in Ginger to, I think, to have lunch. So we're in the same restaurant, just next to my father's office. So he comes and follows me, and he says, I would like to make an appointment to see the lawyer.
Oh, he knew your father?
No, he didn't. He just, I think, followed me. So where I entered. So after like, I think 30 minutes, he came in and said, hello, how are you? I would like the services of a lawyer. Then I was like the secretary. I was at the reception. So I told him, okay, when would you like to see him? Then he said, I'm going to Kampala, but on my way back, fix me an appointment. I said, fine. So I even gave him the numbers to call. Wow. I gave him my number, followed. Then I told him, if I don't go through, you can call my father, who is the lawyer himself. Yes, so when you gave him your father's number, I'm sure he put an X and said, this is the number never to call. I think so. But that is how we met. And he turned out to be my boyfriend and later now my husband. But did he actually see the lawyer? Was it true he actually went to see the lawyer? Of course not. David. Of course not. So by the time you joined university, you had this client friend that had wanted to see the lawyer. Once in a while, he called to check on me. I later learned he had been transferred to Bushenyi. So once in a while, he would come in. What was he doing that kept him trans-country? He's a customs officer. Yes. Okay. So Busia, Bushenyi, they work, they keep transferring things. So your mother had spoken to you and said, campus, a bald head like Simon's, big tummy like Simon. Yes. Don't even think about it. She told me, first, don't embarrass me. Secondly, AIDS is real, the story of AIDS. And then, basically, she painted this picture. There's a way the mothers can paint for you that picture of AIDS, and you just see yourself die. Basically, for me, even to talk to me as a man, you'd have to be, even David, I think if he was invited to tell his story, he knows how tough it was, because I am the kind of girl who asks, how do you know me? What do you want from me? Basically, I would just look at him as, you are AIDS, go. I don't want. Or you just want to come and spoil my future.
He's guilty. So he's got to work backwards for his innocence.
So when I went to campus, honestly, I was slow. I just, first of all, looked at all these girls as spoilt girls. And so I will not associate. And what brought me here is to get that degree. My mother had told me there are girls who go to campus and come back with 2 degrees. One on the head, another in the stomach. I don't want. So all those things were ringing in my head. And
you just wanted 1 degree.
yes.
The one in the stomach, no.
Yes. So, but also, like I said, I'm a Christian girl, and we was very like in touch with our pastors. And, you know, when we were leaving for campus, that whole lot, you know, it's like our pastor commission that's out there.
Wow.
Go and represent God, go and represent us.
So you had a strong
Yes,
scripture union and an association.
Exactly. I was a scripture union leader in my school in St. Kalemba for so many years.
Wow.
So I felt like in case of anything, I'd like let down so many people. Yeah, so when I went to campus, honestly, I focused. I studied. I even remember so many times my roommates would tell me in the first year we were like 6 girls in our room.
Wow.
We would sleep 6. And then in the second year, 2. And then third year, you'd have chances of sleeping alone in
yes.
the room. So the girls on Friday nights, they would be like, they were used, Jenny will keep the room.
We'll keep the room.
Yeah.
They would go and become weekend wives.
But of course, like a girl, a young girl.
You also want to try.
Yes, but I was scared. I was so scared.
Is there a day you overcame that scare? Did you ever go to a dance hall, for example?
Yes. When I became serious with David, shortly before my graduation, we had even gotten out of campus. You know that moment of waiting for grad. So now I'm officially dating David. I'm about to tell my parents about him.
About to.
Yes.
But for you, it's official.
Yes, for me, because he was the only guy I was seeing. Okay. So in my head, I was like, no, this is my boyfriend. So he comes to check on me, and then I tell him that there's one thing that I would like before I leave, you know, this whole Makerere setting. Then he was like, what is it? I told him I would like you to take me to Angenois. So he said, fine.
Did he know where it was himself?
Yes, he knew.
He will not ask how, but yeah.
He knew. So we made a date for Angenois, and I invited my siblings. I invited my young sister, my young brother, because I was also sure they had never been there. So I told them,
a treat.
Yes. So also with my cousin, I have a cousin called Gish, who I like so much. So I also told him, you know what? Also with now that background of now you're going with this guy. What will happen after Angenois? So I told my cousin, come. So we went. So he took us, and we saw finally Angenois. I looked around.
What was your impression when you got in there?
I don't want to speak about it because like the very Christian girl I was, first of all, I thought I was as if entering into the devil's den. So I was very careful. I had even prayed and covered myself with the blood of Jesus.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but I really wanted to experience it. I never wanted to miss Angenois. It was the talk of everywhere at campus. Yeah, so we get there. He gets us where to sit. We sit. We take our sodas. We even order for chips, chicken. But girls were dancing. People were dancing. People were happy. I think
the lights.
It was actually
sound.
a bit dark that night. After we went home at around like 1 a.m., I didn't sleep. It's like I carried the whole disco
You were hearing it
to
in the
my
ears.
bed. My goodness. It took me like 2 days to normalize. The sound was so much. Yeah, but at least I was like, okay, bucket list. Yeah,
check.
That's done. Yeah, so campus, I was really a normal Christian girl. I used to go to St. Francis to pray, come back to the hall. When I would have money for transport, I would go back to Ginger and be with my parents over the weekend.
Wow.
Yeah.
While other, of course, girls were at their boyfriends' houses, for you went home. Interesting. Teachers usually get that opportunity to do teaching practice.
Sure.
Did you get yours? And
Yes, I did. I taught at Mbogo High School.
Here in Kawempe.
Here in
That
Kawempe.
means you would commute. Were you
No.
at campus then, or you?
I
now?
was at campus. You know, you do teaching practice twice. First in second year, at the end of second year, my father rented me a room next to the school. He even came with a car and carried all my things, and we went and, you know, he moved me in. We checked in. And then in third year, no, the school retained me because I was teaching, I think, well. So they asked me, would you like to stay and teach while you work? I mean, while you study and finish. I said, yes, why not? So I stayed in my room. And then my cousin, who had just joined campus, took over my space in box. So that last year of Makerere, I was renting in Kawempe because I was teaching. And
So you just commute to campus?
Yes, and I was an evening student. So I made sure that all my lessons are in the morning. Then in the afternoon, I would go to class.
Oh, that's a very interesting one.
Yes.
So you were living an independent life and all that?
Yes, but my parents would come and check on me.
How unannounced regularly? How
Of
regular?
course, announced because they didn't want to bounce all the way from Jinja. When my dad would have court cases here in Kampala, those were like, sure, he has to go through Mbogo to see me. Yes, but also because my younger sister was studying in Mbogo at the time. That's how I ended up there. Yes.
That's very interesting. So she also had that protection from Big Sis
Yes,
as a teacher, but she also was your spy. Your
She
dad made you
recently
ask.
told me that she used to tell students that if you tease me, you don't tease me because my sister is a teacher here. And of course, she always had pocket money.
Yeah, because you are always liquid.
Yes.
Let's play your third song, Jennipher. What song will that be?
My next song will be Chiki Bombe by Levikson.
Coming in after you've told us your story of going to Angenwa, where you had the soda, chips and chicken, and you barely danced. Now, do you ever dance anyway?
Yes, actually, that's how I ended up liking this song. I was even surprised when I was told it was a gospel song. I think that made me like it even more. I stopped feeling guilty about, you know, dancing to worldly music like we used to call it when we were young. But I like it. It just those moments when I need to be lifted.
Yes. And to lose your hair.
Yeah.
Let's get lifted alongside Jennipher here. Let's lose our hair and listen to this wonderful song from Levikson as chosen by her. We'll be right back. It's Desert Island Discs.
Desert Island Discs on 91.3 Capital FM.
Chiki Bombe, style ya Chiki Bombe, dance for me Chiki Bombe #1. Woman ya Chiki Bombe, kadona ya tuende Chiki Bombe.
It's Desert Island Discs. Jennipher is telling us her life story. She's an incredible woman, a market lady just next door, but with an interesting life story. She's a teacher by profession, a mother naturally, and a happy-go-lucky person. Now, she has a new title to herself. She's an author of a book titled Just Start. So, Jennipher.
Yes, Simon.
Here you are with your life story. You are teaching. The school has retained you for impeccable, I think, teaching and discipline. But then you have something you need to tell your parents.
Yes, indeed, it was around that time because I remember I graduated in January 2008. And then June, I introduced David to my parents.
Were they shocked?
My mom was.
He never after all the pep talk she gave you, she didn't expect that 6 months after school you'd have a boyfriend.
My mom was. My dad, I first talked to my dad. He was easier on me. So I told him I have this friend of mine. He met, David met my dad way before my mom. And I think my mom met David the second time on our day of Kuchala.
What?
Yes. The first time, David dropped me home. He passed by my dad's office. He was coming from Kampala.
He passed by to see the lawyer.
He passed by to, no, that time we were friends. So he passed by. So he offered to drop me home. My dad had gone earlier. So I went home, but I didn't find my dad. I think he had passed by somewhere. So when I got home, I told my mom, I'll meet my friend David. He has dropped me. And David was heading to Busia. My dear, in senior 6 vacation, my mom beat me so bad. Because of introducing David to you? So she never saw David again until the day of our Kuchala.
Okay, wait a minute. Let's get down to this beating that you... Very well. So you, oh, mommy, this is my friend.
Yes, because I thought.
And he's just dropped me off.
Yes.
Trust you me, you know a mother's eye. The one who says, let
I
him
knew
go.
that I was in trouble.
But again,
First,
you have to be honest.
Yes. First, I didn't want David to think that maybe I'm embarrassed of my home, he can't come in. But then I knew that once he comes in, once he goes away, there will be a tough conversation. But then I had started liking David. So I was torn between who do
the
I...
risk was okay.
Yeah, so I let David come in. I told him, come meet. I also wanted him to know that I'm, you know...
You're coming from a home.
Yes.
You're not just a girl on the street.
So he left, was with a friend. So they left and I got home. So immediately he left like this. My mom pulled me by the collar up to my bedroom. You have started bringing men in my house. What? I got a thorough beating. I was in senior 6 vacation. I'm
When
telling you the
Daddy
truth.
came.
Well, I think by the time Daddy came, I was asleep. I cried up to, like I cried myself into sleep. So I woke up swollen. My mom had really beaten me. So I told myself my mom will never see a man or a boyfriend. So, but I later learned from my sister that she had been asking, so like after campus, so do you have an idea? Does Jen have a boyfriend?
And they would
Have
say
you
no.
seen any man around her? And they would all say no. But of course I had started talking to them about David. Yeah, so, yeah, and because of, again, my Christian background, I am not the kind to, you know, first stay with a man before I am married. Yeah, so I told him straight away, you like me, you marry me, you don't, I will not come to stay at your house. Yes.
And I only come to stay with you after you've married.
Yes.
When your mother saw him at your kuchara,
Yes.
could she recognize and
No.
remember that was the other guy?
No.
But you told her.
I did tell her.
She must have been pleasantly surprised.
Yes. I told her this is the same gentleman and was like, are you sure? You have been in touch. Of course, that time he looked much older than you, and that time you are still young, you're going to campus. I was scared. I said, you have not even entered campus, now you have started.
But what's also interesting is that the beatings never helped. If the beatings had helped, you would have stopped seeing that particular
helped. They helped in a way that I was like, you see, even just
dropping you off.
Yes. So what about if I go to campus and mess up? And I think I was a little bit naive. I wasn't this sharp of, well, I can go at campus and I can learn how to play around, maybe not getting pregnant. Or no. For me, I just...
And even double life.
Yes.
You knew that your handshake with a man, pregnant.
Pregnant, yes. So that's what I was avoiding.
So you graduate.
Yes.
You start living your normal life, teaching.
Yes, teaching.
And then you make the arrangements for your nuptials with David.
Yes.
That also goes well.
Very well.
After the kuchara, what happens?
After the kuchala happened a month after, the introduction happened a month after the kuchala.
Wow, that was quick.
Yes. And then 6 months later, which was Feb 14th, meanwhile, of the following year, 2009, we got married. So in that time, I was still staying at Micah Space in Kawempe.
There was nothing like cohabiting?
No.
You want to start living together?
Yes.
After tying the knot?
Yes.
Together with David, now you have been blessed with any children?
Yes.
Oh.
We have 6 beautiful children.
Wow, incredible.
Yes. 6 beautiful children, very wonderful children. I have 3 biological children, and then I have 2 wonderful children that I met when I met David.
Oh,
yes.
He came together with his lovely children. You took them on.
Yes.
So you got 3 for the price of 1. Isn't that how you do it in the market? Eh?
You know?
3 watermelons
for the price of 1. And then recently God blessed us with another girl. She's called Kate, and we are in the process of officially adopting her.
Adopting her?
Yes.
You already have 5 children.
Yes.
And you're thinking of adopting a 6th. Who does that?
Yes.
Why?
I don't have an exact reason for the why, but a good family, a big family is a good family.
The more the merrier,
the
say.
better.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah. Many
so
children are good. Yes. When you come to my house, it's all...
Mommy, daddy,
yes.
daddy. And all the
I have
laughter.
a child, my last born, when I arrive home, he dances every day.
Wow.
He dances, she's back, she's back, she's back, and that just melts my heart. I hope
I have a feeling that may not be the last one there. Maybe soon.
I also don't want to say never, because at this rate, I'm the kind who used to think, oh, I'll have my 2 kids and that's it, and you know. But here I am, mother of 6.
Mother of 6.
Yes.
Proud mother of 6.
Proud mother of 6.
Now, we know today you are in the market.
Yes.
But we have also known you graduated as a teacher.
Yes.
At what point did the teaching end up in the market?
So when I got married, remember, right now I stay in Boyogere. That's where I got married. That's where David was staying, and that's where we still stay. So getting married meant I had to move in with David, and I was working in Kawempe. And so it became very hard for me to commute after getting married. And so
those are the challenges employers have.
Yes.
When you employ a lady,
yeah,
just pray nothing like that happens in her life.
I know. So I stayed home for about the first year of my marriage. And then I was also looking now for jobs, other jobs. I told myself I would, you know, it's not just about teaching, I can do other jobs. But also to add value to myself, I went back to school. That's when I did my postgraduate in project planning, thanks to David. Yeah.
He encouraged you.
Yes, not only, but he also paid the tuition. Yes, yeah. Those are some of the signs of a good spouse.
Wow.
They want to support you. So I studied while I was waiting for an opportunity, and I got a job with a company called IBM. It's International Business Machines. At that point, they were doing customer care and IT for Airtel. Yeah, so IBM was my employee, and Airtel was our customer. So we were working at Airtel. Yes, so most people thought I was working for Airtel. Yes, so yeah, I went in first as
Call center.
Call center, yeah.
In speaking your local language. Can you speak Rufumbira?
Yes.
You can.
Very well.
You speak Lusoga.
Very well.
You speak Luganda.
Yes.
And you speak English.
And I speak Chinyarwanda.
Is there any on Chinyarwanda?
Yes.
I thought that's more or less the same with Chifumbira.
A bit.
A bit, eh?
Yes.
So, and a bit of Ruchiga as well.
No, but I can understand. Sometimes those calls would be diverted to me. But Vachiga are difficult.
I know.
They would start off with just abusing me. Asking me a sentence and here, and I would be like, okay.
Before they add another profanity.
Yes. Yeah, so I worked there for about 6 months. And then, and then I was elevated to quality assessor. And yeah, I was starting to enjoy this corporate life.
Wow.
Yes, now I am not a call center assistant. Now I have a team that I'm leading. I have, you know, a nice office. I attend meetings. I give reports, you know, and that's what kind of I had dreamt of, you know, in this corporate world. And, you know, I was doing well. And I was expecting my second child. So soon after, I went on maternity leave. And that is where the transition happened.
Whoa.
Yes. So while I was on maternity leave,
IBM moved
on. Not so easily. It was so hard for them to let me go. They really struggled to keep me, but I had seen the light.
How had you seen that?
So while I was on leave, that maternity leave is 90 days, and I saw this little boy who was so little. I started saying, how do I leave this kid at home with the issues of maids and all? But I also didn't want that life. I had been jobless in that first year of my marriage, actually like the first 2 years. So I didn't want to go back there.
Where you have to ask for everything, including the most basic needs.
Exactly. There are times I would really see that my husband is trained. He would give really generously. There are times I know he would want to give me, but, you know, like priorities. Then as a lady, there are also things I have dreamt about.
Exactly.
Yes. Then also, you know, when you finish school, it's like your parents now sit back and say, now it's your turn
to look after
us. So I also had that void. I wanted to look after my parents, much as they were still very well able-bodied and they were working. So yeah, I didn't want to really quit my job. But what happened when I was on leave, towards the last days of my leave, in that mix of thinking, how do I leave my baby at home? One of my cousins loses their baby, and we go to bury in Fort Portal. So now, one of my other cousins who works and stays in Chisoro tells me how in our village, Chisoro, there are so many people growing passion fruits and they're so nice. And you know, we had that conversation and he said, can I send you guys samples and you have a look, at least even just for home use? Then I told him, yeah, you should, you should. I thought it would end at that. My friend, when he went back to Chisoro,
He sent a sack.
he sent 3 sacks. So one for me, one for my other cousin, and another cousin. So he sleeping like 4 a.m. I get a call from now these guys at the park where the passion fruits had arrived. Madam, your passion fruits are here, come and pick them up. At 4 a.m. then I said, Banange, how do I even leave my house at 4 a.m.? So I told them, please help me keep them up to around 7, I'll pick them up. So as soon as my husband went out, I also went. I had a small car, a Karaom my husband had just gifted me.
Wow.
For, you know, I think for having the babies.
second baby.
Yes. So I had my Karaom. I had never driven to the park. You know how that part of town is chaotic. But yeah, I guess the Mufumbira in me also started waking up. And there's no, I was going to disappoint my cousin. They've sent you passion fruits for free. I hadn't paid for them. So I went to the park and I picked the passion fruits. There were 3 sacks. Imagine 3 sacks in a room. I learned how to break those chairs at the back and make it a pickup. Yeah, then I put, so I drove out, and when I approached around Mengo, so I called now these other cousins of mine because he had clearly written on that this is for Jen, this is for Joseph, and one was for Sarah. So I called Joseph and he's like, Jen, I'm at the airport going to London. He's a lecturer at Aga Khan. And he's like, so find something to do with the passion fruits.
Okay.
Like, okay. So I called Sarah and she's like, but Jen, be serious. I am in the middle of so much work. I just can't come to pick passion fruits. You take them to your house, I'll pass by and pick them up. I said, fine. So I drive back home with 3 sacks of passion fruits. And in the evening, I wait for Sarah to pass by. She did not. I called her the following morning, come and pick your passion fruits. She told me, Jen, no, she told me she was in a place, they had a project they were working on, and she was so far away from Kampala. And basically, I think she was so busy that I think she felt like, Banange, really, how can someone be calling me for passion fruits at this time? She told me, Jen, do whatever you want with those passion fruits. I am so busy. There I was stuck with 3 sacks of passion fruits. I didn't know what to do with them.
You can only drink a few.
I used to think a sack is small, my dear. I got out all the Bensons, we poured in the passion fruits, just 1 sack. All the passion fruits filled all the Bensons in my house. I was just now I was stuck with the passion fruits. I didn't know what to do with them, but they were so nice. You know, the aroma alone, as soon as we placed them on the veranda, the whole compound was filled with aroma of passion fruits. And then the following day, when I poured them in the Bensons and all, they were just so nice, ripe, purple, you know. So I was really stuck. I said, now, what do I do? So there's this Facebook page I had just joined as a young mother. It was called Beautiful Modern Mothers.
BMM.
BMM, exactly, that's what we call it. So I made a Facebook post. That's, I think, my first post ever on Facebook.
What?
Yes.
Stuck with passion fruits?
Yes.
Any mothers out there willing to take them?
Yes. And so I was actually, in the beginning, my post was very naked. But the next comment gave me a lead. The lady asked, how much are you giving for 1,000? So I just said 10 because I just wanted to get rid of these passion fruits. And so she said, does that mean 100 for 10,000? I said, yes. She said, I'll come after work. Send me your location. Send me your location. Simon, that evening, ladies picked passion fruits from my home. Like one lady would come and pick for like 50,000. I didn't even know. It's at that moment when the first client came that said, so how do I carry them? So I sent my maid to the shop, go and bring buveras, 10 buveras, the green ones. So we count, I was even not counting gold, I was just getting rid of the passion fruits. But Simon, by the evening of that day, like 8 p.m. when the last lady who picked passion fruits came, I was holding 390,000 shillings in my hands.
Without any passion fruits?
With a little. I was left with a little. I was in shock. I was like, wow, I have like half of my salary in my hands in an evening. I couldn't believe it. First of all, I was excited to have this money effortlessly, but when I woke up in the morning, my phone had like 100 notifications of ladies who were saying they are coming for passion fruits, which passion fruits are almost finished.
Hey!
And then the ones who had taken were giving very good reviews. So I called this cousin of mine and I say, hey, those passion fruits that you sent, can I get more? People want more. Have you seen on Facebook? Go and see on my page. See how many people want. And then he said, okay, now a sack costs 90,000. Then I calculated the money that I had plus transport and all, and I sent him the money, that 390, and it amounted to 3 sacks of passion fruits. And so he sent them, and now I was busy during the day replying messages. I will have the passion fruits, please come tomorrow, they will have arrived. Now I slept knowing I'm expecting the call from the park. I even, you know, kind of prepared my husband that I would get out really early. You know, I started getting, you know, busy and having things to do. And so I went and picked the passion fruits, now intentionally packed them nicely, pre-packed them so that I don't delay these ladies coming to pick them.
But the catchword is prepare my husband.
Yes.
That's very important.
Yes.
Now we can proceed.
Yes, which man do you tell that you're getting out at 5 a.m. and he's very okay with it?
Go.
Yes, I actually remember him asking me, do you need me to give you a push?
Oh dear.
Then I told him I think I'm okay because he had that, you know, a job, yeah. So yeah, and when I finished selling those 3 sacks, I had 1 million shillings.
Eh?
Yes, and that was more than my salary for a man. I had made it in a day. That is what I meant when I said I saw the light.
That was the light.
That was it. I was like, I even told my bosses, can increase my salary. And when they increased it, it went to about 890. But it was still not yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, but also because of my baby. So that is how the story started. I resigned officially from my job. I started, all the money I would collect, I would send it back to my brother, and he would send me those passion fruits. I would drive to pick them up in my small car. That car that I thought can only take up to 3, ended up taking up to like 6.
What?
Yes. I would pack it until the behind kind of sits down, and then the front goes up. But
so your home became the collection center.
Yes.
Then beyond people coming to Wegeri, you started delivering to them.
Yes, because now among those comments I would have loved, but now I can't come to Wegeri, it's far, my boss is around, we leave work late. So I started now planning and said, if I feed my baby and he used to sleep in intervals of like 2 hours, can't I rush to town, drop off these passion fruits and come back when he's still sleeping? And it worked.
And the name came up, Mama Utunda.
And the name, yes. And I was all over the place. Where is Mama Utunda? Mama Utunda, today you didn't show up. There are times I would think I've carried enough, but you go to an office where they asked for 30 packs, and then they say, now when you arrive, they say make them 40 or 50. And there are some colleagues who are not around. Then there are colleagues who said they will take for my mom. There are those who said they give me 2 instead of the one they had ordered for. So yeah, so that was my life from 2012 up to around 2017.
That's 5 years.
Yeah, 5 years of, that was my job.
And then after you said no.
And then after, when that point when we started bringing in like 100 sacks, then people would knock at the gate, we want passion fruits. I think it didn't go well with my husband. You know how men and security are.
And like, privacy.
Yeah, and also privacy. So my husband told me, I think it's time for you to find a location for your passion fruits. And that is how I moved into the market. My idea of moving in the market was to create like a store for my passion fruits, like where they arrive at, and we package from there and start our distribution from there. But as I went on delivering, some clients would tell me, oh, unfortunately you don't have oranges, but I usually like mixing my juice, my passion fruit juice with oranges. If you could bring us oranges, if you could bring us carrots, if you could bring us watermelon, all these things go well with passion fruits. And I had got a lot of like customer experience from Airtel, and I like to please the client. So I found myself back and forth in the market. Oh, this client at maybe, we used to supply Sinok maybe, at Sinok said they would like some carrots. So as I would be coming, I would pass by the market to get carrots for this client. That would make everyone happy. So I thought if I go in a market, it will now be easy for me to pick these things for the clients and leave at once. That's how I ended up getting space in the market.
Let's play your next song, Jennipher.
Echisa Echinondola by Silver Chaplain.
I won't ask why.
Thank
Clearly
you.
the lyrics of the song and
Yes.
from the story you just shared with us,
Yes.
it can only be divine providence.
Yes.
It's the Style and Discs. Do you see how chance encounters with opportunities in places you never expect them to be should actually be a sign that there is a better life out there? We'll be right back, continuing with the life story of Jennipher Tumukunde.
Desert Island Discs on 91.3 Capital FM.
waliwe chise chinondola chenewunya okuva obuto bwange mukama omukono gwongulabye ekise
Welcome back, it's the Style and Discs, and Jennipher Tumukunde sharing with us her life story, an interesting life story. The twists and turns in fortunes are something of epic proportions. From a humble job that you barely earn a 7 or 6 figure salary to earning that in just days, it would be foolhardy for you to make the decision to go back such a job. And Jenny didn't take that direction. So you chose to go to a market.
Yes, I did.
And like earlier on when we began this conversation, you told us what markets and the stereotypes around them can be, especially for a high-rising corporate lady that has gone through an education, almost postgraduate level.
Yeah.
But then your husband, didn't he also have to deal with the stereotype of, my wife now is a market vendor?
Yes, actually that worried me at some point. But I think he's just a good man. He supported me in all that. But I also tried, that's why I think when you asked me why I look the way I look, I tried to make sure that I don't go that road of looking like market vendors. Yes, even when you come to the market, my space is different. And I keep updated. Just like anyone who is working in the corporate company, I make sure that I run my small business the way, these
Big
corporate
companies
yes,
run their
are run.
businesses as well.
Yes.
So you have books of
So I
accounts.
have books of accounts. I pay my taxes. I have an office in the market.
Wow.
Yeah, the space is neat. So I dress well. So that when he calls me during the day and says,
Can we
pass
have
by
lunch?
my office, or can we have lunch? It is not over. I have to first go home and dress now. Like, no, I am, always ready. But I guess that's the good thing with doing business when you're educated. Yes. So
The balance between business of your nature,
yes,
the children,
yes,
nurturing them. Of course, the wifely duties come along with that.
that's true.
And the ever-demanding needs for everything that we do in life. How are you balancing that?
That has always been a challenge, but I try to talk to other ladies who are, in the same mix and see how they are juggling. But I learned how to plan my day. My time is now very, very valuable. I don't waste time. You can't just call me and say, hey, I'm here, come, or, No, it doesn't work like that. So I plan, I put in extra hours, and then I try to balance. It's hard, like you said, you are a daughter, you are a sister somewhere, you are a cousin. I've lost so many friends because of that. And then at home you want to be a perfect mom, a perfect wife. So all these things come with time. So I learned that you plan your day, and then you give priority to people you meet and what activities you have. Then I also learned how to take now real time off with family. I used to think those are rich people issues. Of we have gone for holiday. I'm now on holiday. No, I learned how to do those things because family for me is number one, and I need time, quality time. Yes. So I have learned through really planning. I wake up at 5 on a daily. I have to manage my home manager, give her like instructions. Then I have also learned how to employ a manager for myself.
Wow.
Yes, I realized that first of all, you can't beam in with the money and think you'll make it. You use now this money to make your life a bit easier and to also do other things.
And so in this conversation around balancing what we call work-life balance,
Yes.
do you take a day off something in a week?
Yes.
Which day is you off? Because
Thursday.
market is every day.
Yeah, I know.
Uh-huh.
Thursday is, I think, the slowest day at the market. I think it's that time of between food is getting finished, but then the weekend is coming, so we shall shop over the
Friday.
weekend. Yeah, so we barely have clients or walk-in clients. And maybe, I don't know if I mentioned that for us, our niche is delivery. So clients just send us their lists and we deliver. So mostly Thursday we have the fewest, which my team can now handle. And so I take Thursday as my day off.
Wow, very interesting. But also market is a place where I'm sure every food is fresh.
That's true.
And the ladies who cook it there also, you know, cook it very well. The aroma of food in the market really tastes very good.
Yes, market food is
So do you ever have your meals from in there?
Yes, I have a team of about 8 that I work with. So we decided to start making our own meals at work. Yes, and we pick from what we are selling and we cook, and it's different. It's kind of different.
What's your favorite dish?
Matoke, katogo, matoke and meat.
Wow.
That's what we usually have. We do quick meals. We don't do very, very serious meals. Sometimes we can, no. Sometimes we can just do veggies. Sometimes there are veggies that are kind of withering and you don't want them to go to waste. So I force them. I tell you, we shall eat these veggies today.
Wow.
So they don't go to waste. So yeah, it helps. I think my team is happy because we try to provide meals. Yeah.
That's
which is
interesting.
different from other market vendors.
You said earlier on now you take time off with family and go to relax. Usually what we ask on the program here is to say, if you were to be given an opportunity to go somewhere in this beautiful country,
or in this beautiful country,
where would you love to go and spend some time and relax, and why?
Chobe.
Aha.
Yes. Chobe, I've tried twice to book and it's fully booked. But from the pictures I see, it really looks nice. I would really love to have time there with my
8
family.
of the 10 people who sit on that chair
choose
Chobe as their dream destination.
Are you serious? Because the other nice places are all this side of Kabale,
so where you
and I
have
have been to them. So it's only that part
that you haven't been to.
Yes, the time when I really attempted, it was fully booked. I tried again, fully booked.
Why do we see Jennipher in the next maybe 5, 10, 20 years? Still in the market, or going to pursue the dream that your father wanted you to be a lawyer?
No,
or going back to a classroom?
No, I don't think I will go back to school, especially to study law. I think I want to have the biggest online grocery shopping company, and I'm working my way there. I also, of course, together with my husband, we are putting up space where I can do this. So I want to have like a modern market where you can just, if you walk in, you just pick your items, like with coolers to keep all these things fresh. Yes, I've taken time to do some research. I travel to make sure that I learn from these other countries how they preserve, you know, to make spinach, you know, stay longer on the shelf. Yes, so I'm planning to have this big space, which is like, you know, like a supermarket
But
of only
fresh food.
Yes,
Wow.
that's my dream.
We can't wait to see that dream come into fruition.
Yes.
Literally.
It will, I'm sure. Given where I've come from, I know it will happen.
So it actually does pay to do project planning and end up in a market.
Yes.
Because the market becomes different.
Yes, that's true. Because I think that's why we study.
Wow.
To be able to better our lives, and, you know, and like this education is now helping me, not that I'm not employed and I don't have a job, yeah.
And perhaps now no job for what you studied is able to give you the satisfaction you get from
No,
the kind
not
of stuff
at all.
that you're doing.
Not at all.
Jennipher Tumukunde, it's been a pleasure having you on the program.
Thank you so much.
Sharing with us this very humbling story of an ordinary girl next door, but who born well, raised well, went to good schools,
Yeah.
ends up in a market.
Yes.
And is happy to be in there and
Yes.
is growing the brand.
Thank you.
We'll be here to listen to further of your story when it actually does materialize.
Yes.
But for now, we'll request you to play your last song as you say bye to our listeners, who I'm sure have learned a lot from you.
Okay, maybe one last thing I would like to encourage the ladies out there who are seated at home, maybe waiting for that big job or waiting to get capital. From my story, you can tell that I did not start with a coin, but I built slowly on what I had and was able to, to earn a living out of it. So I encourage you out there, don't despise any job, don't fear, as long as it is decent, it doesn't break your values as a person. Go for it, do it. Maybe a big job will find you along the way.
Wow.
My last song will be Kachumbali. I just like the beat and the sound. It's playing at my house all the time. The kids love it.
And I'm sure from the speakers in the market, everybody is playing it sometime.
Kachumbali, yes.
Well, what a nice way to end our Sunday on a groovy note, and the song chosen by Jennipher here will certainly do it for us. We'll meet same time, same place next Sunday. But before that, we want to thank you, the listeners and viewers, for taking the trouble and, of course, doing so with pleasure to listen to our incredible life stories. We continue to serve you and better next time. Jennipher, stay blessed.
Thank you.
I said Javeri, she tell me about your Katumbali. Javanyiri Awati, Missy Wati, Kanavagarusi, Alami Kanavarzoli, Javanyiri Awati, Missy Wati.
Desert Island Discs on 91.3 Capital FM.